Welcome back, you beautiful people, to another week of van life in winter in Scotland.
We are Gemma and Campbell, and this week we try our hand at fitting some handy gadgets to help us on our next adventure in Ellie.
Get that thing out of here! Since we first moved into Ellie back in the summer of 2021, we have had nothing but problems with the electrical system that came built in with her. Oh, and this is just starting to happen way too often. However, 2022 is going to be the year where all of that changes. We have just 3 days until our next off-grid adventure, meaning we only have 72 hours to turn Ellie from the PG-rated, family-friendly washing machine that we bought back last summer into an off-grid superhero, rock star, monster truck. I'm running out of adjectives. Sexy off-grid motorhome for the next adventure. So start that timer. When we bought Ellie, she was in no way equipped for an off-grid lifestyle. With great plans of living on the road or in Scotland, we quickly realised that with no inverter, only one battery, and no charger aside from the 230 volt mains plug, we were going to need to make some serious alterations. We began by installing an additional 110 amp hour battery, as well as a 1500 watt inverter to charge our gadgets. However, with our book deadline quickly approaching, we didn't have time to complete our off-grid installations. Instead, we had to make one of the most controversial purchases that any van lifer can make: buy a petrol generator. This, however, kept us going for the next 6 months whilst touring the North Coast 500, but we quickly found out that not having a passive charging capability is a serious inconvenience for anyone that is living life on the road, and something had to be done. As a solution to our electrical problems, we've decided to invest in not one, but 2 solar panels, bringing us to a total of 240 watt capacity, and a battery-to-battery charger, which should, in theory, charge from the main battery in the van down into the auxiliary batteries, constantly topping up our battery levels whenever we're on the road. First things first, however, as anyone else that lives in a vans I'm sure will understand, we have about 7 months worth of junk and dirt and all other sorts of rubbish lying around our van that we need to clear out before we can do any kind of work on it.
So, the time has come to tidy up this van, take the Christmas decorations down, and get under that bed and see what's been kicking around for the last 6 months that we haven't even used yet. But first, it is freezing in here, so I need some heat.
Now, whilst Gemma is dealing with the inside of the van, it's my job to clean the outside of it. Now, please bear in mind that I did actually clean it just a month ago, but the roads are filthy just now. How do you get so dirty in 1 month? How do you stay at that? Minging. And it's raining. How did I pull a short straw? And there we are, she's looking like a brand new van. The thing is, however, I need to get the roof cleaned as well, because obviously that's where I'm going to be mounting the solar panels. Oh no! That's a good place to put them in. So the next problem I'm having is that I really wanted to obviously get this battery to battery installed, and I've been told by absolutely everyone and everything that I've been reading that these vans don't come with split charge relays. However, the other day when I was cleaning it and I was getting this carpet out from under the passenger seat, I noticed a little secret compartment. So I went and digging in there, and lo and behold, what do you think I found? She's got a third battery, and I've got no idea what this one's for. My only concern with this is that this actually has something to do with a charging mechanism between the vehicle battery and the laser battery. So I'm tempted to hold off on installing the battery to battery in case I don't need it and I can return it, because it's about 250 quid. In the meantime, however, I am going to need to try and figure out how to get to the bottom of this. Let the detective work begin. Yes, of course. Just as I suspected. I have no idea what I'm doing. Okay, well, Facebook is a wonderful thing. I just posted it into a van life group, and yeah, all the merry little helpers have helped me out a lot. What I thought was the vehicle battery under the bonnet is actually just the fuse / relay box. Funnily enough, if I went over and actually looked at it and read the instructions, typical man I know, I would have seen that. That is the main engine battery. The thing that I thought was a battery in the front is actually just a fuse box. Mystery solved. And I could have saved a lot of stress if I'd actually just read it. Funnily enough, that's my story of my life. What an absolute numpty. The good news is, however, that does mean that it's going to make cabling from this battery through to the leisure battery a lot simpler, because I thought I was going to have to chase cables from under the bonnet all the way through the cabin and then over to it. All I need to do now, however, is just wire it to that and then wire it from there underneath the right back seat, so that makes my life a lot easier. So good morning everyone. Daylight very quickly ran away from us yesterday. I guess that's the joys of trying to do like any kind of van conversions in Scotland pretty much in the middle of winter. We only had about 6 hours of daylight. However, I've come up with a proper plan. Last night I sat and did a load of research on how to install solar panels and batteries to batteries. I know, last minute research, but I've drawn this absolute masterpiece of an electrical design. So on your right, that's the circuit that currently exists, including the inverter, the 2 batteries and the main supply. And on the left here, that's what I'm going to be installing, including the battery to battery and the 2 solar panels. So basically all I need to do is pick up the right equipment. I quickly realised that I didn't actually have the appropriate fuses and cabling and stuff like that. So we're on our way to the only place that you're going to get that, good old B&Q. Oh my god, what has happened back here? I can always tell Gemma's been shopping when I get back into the van, and we've got about 6 new melt hot chocolates. The rest of the chocolate, there we go. So it's a mildly successful shopping trip. I think I got 4 out of the 6 things that I needed on my shopping list. Gemma's just jumped into the opticians to check how blind she is, and I'm going to get stuck into trying to start mounting the equipment that I'm going to need to do. First, let me just give you a quick rundown about what I went and bought. I got some ducting for cables. That will tidy things up a little bit, and I'm also thinking about running the solar panel cables through that so that when I'm driving along I don't have big cables flapping around. So my thoughts are, starting with the solar panel, I'm going to get that mounted up on the roof. I'm thinking basically between here down the way there should be enough room up there to actually mount it, and then I'm going to run the cable through the roof into this cupboard here, mount the solar charge controller up there, so it's quite easy access but not in the way, and then run the cable down here, drill through there, coming out down this wall underneath the seat and into the battery that is actually down here. All good in theory. Practically, that's not what I'm good at. I'm good at talking about doing things. I'm not very good at the final execution of them. Hey, perfect. Alright, that's very good. Definitely need to tidy it up a little bit, but I think that conduit would definitely help. Oh, hello. Hello. Look who it is. You blind? Did you pass?
Passed. Not a scratch, you said. Good.
There's only room for one specky in this van. We've got the solar charger mounted.
Oh, wow.
I'm just stripping this cable here using a kitchen knife because I don't have any other tools. And then I can connect that up, and then it's just running the little cable tie things to keep it nice and tidy. Go! Excellent. So here's the battery connection. Wires, nice and neat, down through here, down through the conduit, and then all that's from there is installing the fuse, connecting it to the battery, and that's the battery side of the solar panel's done. Bosh! The battery to battery, which I have here, the Victron, that's going to be mounted, as I said, underneath the seat as well. There's a little bit of space, and so this is what it currently looks like under here. If you remember the episode where we installed our own thing, that's the inverter. I installed this battery, and then I just pushed the cable through glands to get into there, which is where the other battery currently is. Now where I'm thinking about mounting the battery to battery, like I said, is a place where it can be vented easily and is actually quite easily accessible. So that'd be right here, because if I can cut a hole in that, put the vent on the other side, that should be mounting there not too shabbily. Is that a good way to describe electrics? Not too shabbily? I think that pretty much sums up my life, but... Alright. The next thing I need to do is make sure I've actually got enough room for the solar panels. So now I've attached the brackets and get they will tape out and make sure I've got enough. I did do an initial measurement, so I'm hoping that I did actually measure it accurately, because otherwise we're going to need to drive with them on the side of the van and not the top. Okay, so I've got about 170 of usable room. Should be enough. I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do, and I don't know what size of solar panels would need bigger room than that, but yeah, we should be good. I think that's working quite well, to be honest. All I'm doing is just drilling through the metal bracket, and then we're going to glue those things onto the roof probably tomorrow, because the sun's about to set again and the drill's just died. So yeah, that's a good excuse to go inside and heat my hands up. Don't let that blue sky fool you. It's about -3 just now in Scotland with a wind chill, and I can't feel my fingers, so I need to go and heat up. Oh my god, where to even begin? So as you guys can see, the van is an absolute bomb site. A lot has happened since the last time we chatted, pretty much exactly when I said these words, and we're going to get these solar panels sorted. It all just started to hit the fan, and we didn't actually get as much done as we wanted to. The main reason for that is just because I'm an absolute numpty, and instead of buying adhesive glue for the solar panels on the roof, I accidentally went and bought sealant. So rather than kind of chancing it and hoping that the solar panels don't fly off the roof while we're driving along the M8, we decided just to scrap the solar panels, order the glue online, and we had to sit and wait for the glue to arrive. As you can expect, since then we've been back to the more traditional Scottish weather, which is just bloody miserable. So we've not been able to actually get the solar panels on the roof yet. The good news, however, is we did get the battery to battery installed. Now if you follow us over on Instagram, you'll see us doing a happy dance, because it means we can actually charge up our leisure batteries without having to run our annoying, noisy, antisocial generator anymore. So that can get straight underneath the bed, never to be seen again, only in emergencies. Now just to completely fill you in, I'll give you a quick tour of the system that we have actually finished installing with a lot of headaches. It was actually really tough to do, and I couldn't have done it without the help of my parents. But we now have a working battery to battery charger, and it should just make our lives so much easier. So under here is where I realised that the vehicle battery is, and I've just run some cabling from there, just using basically some jump leads. I've cut the ends off the jump leads, and they're rated to 200 amps, which should be absolutely ample amount of charge for it. So I've got a 60 amp circuit breaker on that line as well, just to be safe, and that's running from the vehicle battery through to the battery charger, which just sits here underneath this seat right there. There is also another circuit breaker just coming out of the battery to battery charger that's rated for 60 amps, and that circuit breaker runs from there all the way along to the leisure battery, which is there. We did actually take this for a test drive pretty much as soon as I'd finished installing it, because we were so excited to give it a spin, and it works. The vehicle battery was topping up. That is now reading a very healthy 12.9. So back to about the whole deadline that we were facing that's quickly approaching. Is tonight that we're actually going to hit the road to our next destination, which is, to be honest, I've no idea, somewhere north and hopefully somewhere snowy. The reason behind that is, of course, my parents are going on holiday for their first trip abroad in about 2 years, and we just really didn't want to actually give them any unwelcome visitors to the house before they actually try and leave the country. Oh, and here she is, the star herself.
Hello.
How are you, babe? I feel like I've not seen you in days.
I know, I'm good, how are you? So I've been managing lots of little bits with the books. When we send out our books, we wrap them in some nice brown paper and tie it up with string, and we've been signing little notes on it just saying like love from Gemma and Campbell, just to add a touch of personalisation. And as we hit the road, our parents are very kindly going to help us distribute the books whilst we're away, because obviously we're not going to be able to do that forever. I don't even really know how much longer we're going to be able to do that for if we're wanting to hit the road, because I'm not going to lie, we did think that when we wrote this book that it would do well, which is why we wrote it, but we did not realise how well it would do. And not blowing my own trumpet or anything, but we thought that we would be able to store some of these books under the bed and then just like post, you know, one out willy-nilly when we got an order. Yeah, I mean yesterday we had 66 orders, which is just like blowing my mind. So we're looking into different options, but that's what I have been doing the past few days. The next step really before we can actually hit the road is just getting this place nice and tidy, and I noticed Gemma's brought the Hoover, and that's her favourite hobby, so I reckon I'll just leave her to it. Come on, you know how much I sneeze when I hoover? You need to help me. And so after getting Ellie prepped for a few weeks on the road, we set off north into the unknown with almost no hiccups. Well, I'm glad you saw that coming, because I was wondering why you were putting on the brakes.
Honestly man, what is it with this road and people just feeling suicidal? The views are beautiful, take your time, have a breath, admire the loch. Don't just try and kill yourself because you're sitting behind a motorhome. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm sure if you have a motorhome, you'll understand that people just want to overtake you all the time. We're not even going that slow. So for all you eagle-eyed viewers, you might recognise where we're parked up. We're at the Tarbert Hotel park up, just to top up our water and get rid of some waste before we head up north.
And it is an absolutely gorgeous view here tonight. Like it was raining pretty much the entire drive up.
Yeah, but it's
sun's
blue
just come out.
now.
Yeah, bit of snow in the mountains, clouds just kind of skimming the top of the hills across the loch. Absolutely stunning. Love this park up. Alright, let's get this place nice and snug. On a scale of 1 to 5, how excited are you to be back on the road?
So excited, it feels so good. See, when the snow fell a few days ago, we were just like, I so badly want to be in like a good, like photogenic snowy location, but we just had too much to do and we couldn't get there. But it's like 2 days later and we're on the road and keeping absolutely everything crossed that Glencoe is still full of snow. I'm sure it will be. I don't think the temperatures have risen that much yet. So yeah, hopefully you're going to see some absolutely stunning shots.
And yeah, Gemma might have just spoiled the surprise, but we will be going to Glencoe for the first time since we came back from Guernsey, and we are very excited to go back up there again because it's definitely our favourite place in the world. Oh yeah, isn't it?
Sure.
Definitely favourite place in the world. You've got a little surprise for us as well, don't you? What did we just go and buy? Well, it wasn't the tahini.
It's a surprise for me as well. Yeah. Oh, I might know what it is.
It wasn't the tahini. What else did we just go and buy?
Was it something that I bought online and picked up?
It wasn't.
Okay, I'll show you. Yeah. We've gone and bought ourselves a little memory foam mattress topper.
I thought that was a duvet. It looks like a duvet, doesn't it?
Well, it's because right now it's quite flat and it's like doing its thing for the next 12 hours where it's gonna like expand. And it's just gonna hopefully give us like a little bit more comfort. Like you can feel some of the springs here in our mattress. It is a little bit old. And in case you've seen them in the background, can I just show you how cute these are? Right, my mum is like incredible at all things like sewing and crafts, and she's actually starting up her own little business this year in it. And she's made us some like really cute cushions for the van, and they like match our interior. And I'm like, in love. If
you actually watched our Christmas episode as well a few weeks ago, she also made the bunting that Gemma was trying to figure out where to hang up, and it was really, really cute. So we're quite excited to try and, you know, see what else you can make up, and you know, if you're interested in anything like that, let us know, and we'll try and judge the demand. Maybe we could sell it on our store as well. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, we're just like, while we're still in the process of kind of getting Ellie all homely, we're just kind of like, oh, what about this we could do with this, Mum? What do you think? And she's like, yep, send me the measurements and I'll see what I can do. So always handy.
And it was all going so blooming well. I was just starting to turn the seats around. We've got a little crate of Diet Coke down here, and all of a sudden the chair, I don't know how it's managed it, it's just like punctured a can.
Like this.
Absolutely ruptured it, and that was half empty when I picked it up, so all of a sudden I've got about half a can of Coke all over. See, you remember?
Right.
Just the other day I was showing you about how, or just this morning, I was showing you about how I beautifully installed a battery to battery with expert cabling. Well, there's now half a can of Diet Coke all over that cabling, so if that isn't expert cabling, we're all gonna die. Yeah, getting back into the van life swing of things, we are kind of cheating tonight. We're going for a good old classic that we found in the cupboard, and that's just like one of these little ready kits out of Aldi for a pad Thai. Brings us right back to Thailand all over again. I would honestly live off of that. I cannot wait to go travelling again. What was the Christmas present we treated ourselves to?
Well,
that cinema screen. Look at the size of that.
That is like an actual cinema. So if you can't get a projector, get yourself an iPad that's what's this?
13 inch.
12.9, 13 inches. And it is like amazing. Our old one was kind of, the charge was a bit temperamental, and we thought, why don't we
treat ourselves? Honestly, we'd never go back to a small screen again. Oh, sugar. I'm definitely out of practice with this cooking. Going to tip the ends of the spring onions into the pan. That definitely doesn't belong in there. Honestly, Christmas comes and I forget how to cook. We just do lucky dip.
Yeah.
Winner gets the end of the spring onion.
And then what does the winner get if you get the spring onion?
To do the dishes.
Okay.
Oh,
come on.
Is your mouth big enough?
I know.
So good morning team. We have just arrived at our spot for the day and yeah, we're not being let down already. It is absolutely magical. I was driving through the snow, all we could see around us was the mountains and it was just absolutely breathtaking. I love this part of Scotland. And of course one of the main reasons
why this is our favourite place, not only in Scotland but I'd say one of our favourite places in the world, is at the King's House. You've got this view of the Buccleuch of Moher ahead of you and the deer come out. And since we've arrived, they've actually like just woken up and like slowly starting to come out and have their breakfast and come out and see us.
So if you are from Scotland, I'm sure you've heard of this place. It's basically just beside the place called Glencoe, kind of just to the south of Glencoe. And we're at the King's House Hotel, which you can see just in the background here. A very, very luxurious place. But the main feature of coming to this hotel is of course the resident deer that basically live in the forest just over there. And I think over time, as this place has become less and less wild, the deer have actually learned that they can come to here and get fed. So they basically got a herd of reindeer that live in the forest over there, and they just know that they can come over and expect to get fed. Personally, I don't like to feed them because I feel like it makes them more dependent on humans, and I don't really agree with that, but each to their own. And even if you don't want to feed them, it's such a beautiful little spot to come to and just admire the views. It's definitely one of my favourite places in the world. But my goodness, it is cold out there, as you can tell by the amount of snow that's still on the hills. This is basically where we're going to be spending the next week or so as we make our way up to the north of Scotland, eventually onto Skye. Fingers crossed there's still snow in the store. And yeah, I think this is a perfect place to sign it off. We're about to make a coffee, have our porridge for breakfast. And Mama Gem's cooking a porridge. What are we having?
We're having some peanut butter in there, a little bit of maple syrup and some blueberries.
And there we are, how porridge should definitely be served. I don't understand people that say they don't like porridge, it's just you've not got the right toppings, that's the only problem. But anyway guys, we'll see you next week. We're going to sign this off here. We've got a big day of activities planned, so we need to get this in our bellies, and yeah, we'll see you next Saturday. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Give it a big thumbs up if you do. It just lets us know that we're doing the right thing and that you want to see more videos just like this one. And of course, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button if you want to see more Scotland adventures, if you want to see Glencoe and the Isle of Skye coming up in the next couple of weeks. Join the clan and we'll see you guys again in the next one.
See ya!